Hey guys, I'm JB, and on March 8th I'm going to be pursuing my lifelong dream of hiking the entire Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. What I wanted to share with you today is some of the gear that I'll be using on my Thru-hike. Let's take a look, shall we? Let's start with my backpack. This is the Granite Gear Crown VC 60. It weighs 2 pounds and 2 ounces, though I did add a little bit of weight with the side pockets here. I had an old one from one of my old backpacks, and then this new one from ZPacks, which is really light and waterproof, but still, I add about 2 or 3 ounces to it. It holds 60 cubic inches of space, which will be more than I need for my Thru-hike, since I'll be resupplying every couple of days. It's really light, it's really comfy, and I really like the back of it. This is Granite Gear's vapor current system, is what they call it, and it allows for a lot of breathability on your back, which is really important when you're hiking up the hill and sweating your butt off. All around, it's a really good pack. Only complaint I really have is you really have to know where everything goes. Otherwise, the frame here is really thin. So if you have something poking you in the back, you can definitely feel it. But if you get everything arranged correctly, which by this point I've kind of got it down, really smooth ride. Just rides your hips really well, really comfy pack. Next up is my sleeping bag. This is the Mountain Hardwear Ultra Lamina 15, rated to 15 degrees. It's a synthetic bag. I had to make a weight sacrifice and get a synthetic because I'm allergic to down, which makes everything a little bit heavier. But overall, it's a really good bag. I've used it overnight and a couple nights on really cold nights. I think it got down in the mid-20s or so. I was breaking a sweat. It was still really warm. So I'm not worried about cold temperatures or anything like that. One thing that did take a little getting used to was that it has, instead of a full length zip on one side, it has a 1/3 length zip on both sides. So you kind of fold it down and get in that way. It's not really a bad thing, it just took a little getting used to. But it also has a little pocket, let's see, a pocket right here on one side somewhere, where you can keep your cell phone or other valuables so that they don't get lost during the night. Which, if you're in a shelter, that's a good thing. So it's going to really come in handy. Yeah, it'll be a good bag for the trip. Next up is my sleeping pad. That telltale crinkle means it's the Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite. It's not nearly as cranky as the older models. That's one of the reasons I put off getting it until they improved it. But it still has that telltale crinkly sound. But it won't keep you awake at night. This weighs only 12 ounces and it reflects your heat back at you. So this will help keep me warm on those cold nights. And when it's compressed, all the air's out of it, it folds down smaller than an Nalgene bottle. So this will be really packable, a really comfy way to spend my nights, so I won't have to worry about sleeping on a rock or something like that. Next up is my tent. Here it is compressed into a Granite Gear stuff sack. This is the Big Agnes Fly Creek UL2. Now, I originally was going to take a one-person tent, but I got a two-person tent for my wife and I to go camping in, and just on off chance, weighed the two. This ended up being lighter, so I'll have a little mansion on the trail, I guess. It only weighs 1 pound and 15 ounces, so it's really light, and it'll just be really comfy. I can keep my bag inside at night, especially if it's raining. And if my wife comes to visit, that means that we won't have to have her bring another tent, so win-win in that situation. My stove. This is the Snow Peak Gigapower. Only weighs 3.75 ounces, so it's really light and it compacts really small. I fit this inside of my cook pot. It's an isobutane canister stove, so I will have to resupply this way instead of an alcohol stove, but I've been using this for years. It's really reliable. I don't think I would trade it for anything right now, so maybe if it fails, I also have a jet boil that I could use. But just for size and efficiency, this has been my go-to for years. Next up is my cook set. This is a Snow Peak titanium pot, and it has a little fry pan on top. I probably won't use that too much. It might come in handy a time or two. If I find that I'm not using it at all, I might send this home and just make a top out of aluminum foil. Or I can actually order a custom little lid that goes on top. And then my titanium spork as well. Altogether, this weighs right at 8 ounces, so super light. And it looks small, but that actually holds over 2 cups of water. So I can boil all the water I'll need for like a mountain house meal or something like that. For water purification, I'm going to be using Aquamira. Now this is really light and only weighs 3 ounces altogether, and it'll kill just about anything in your water that'll make you sick. What you do, you mix part A with part B, about 7 drops from each, into this little cap. let it react for about 5 to 7 minutes or so. Then you pour it in a liter of water, shake it up, and you can keep hiking. About 30 minutes later, you've got purified water that's safe to drink. Really handy. People have been using this for years, so it's really reliable, and I think it'll do just fine by me on the trail. The headlamp I'm going to be using is the Black Diamond Spot. It weighs just over 3 ounces and has 130 lumens of brightness, which means it'll light up pretty much anything if I'm walking around at night. It's really comfy. I really think it's a big improvement over my last headlamp, which was the Takina 2 by Petzl. It's great. I'm really looking forward to using this on the trail. The wallet I'm going to be using on the trail is this. It's the Butterfly wallet. It weighs 0.2 ounces, which is less than a quarter. It has spots for 3 cards and then cash right here. The cards that you use actually are what gives it its form, so it stays solid when you've got your cards in there. It's really handy. You don't really need more than that when you're hiking. And change, I'll probably put that in a bounce box and move it along. So, no biggie. A few miscellaneous things. The first is my pack cover. It's the Ultra Seal pack cover by Sea to Summit. It only weighs 4 ounces and it just slides right over the top of my backpack. It goes on really quickly and easily. I really like this. I've used it in a downpour and nothing got wet. The other thing I have here, this is my bear line. It's 50 feet of paracord, nothing extremely special, though it does have reflective fibers and these little stripes, which means if I'm looking for it at night and have my headlamp on, it'll actually show up in the darkness. And then just a little S-beaner to hook my food bag on with. I'm going to be taking 2 towels with me. The first is just a standard handkerchief, maybe a little oversized, but really handy for just wiping sweat or cleaning your food bowl or anything else that you need to just get moisture off of. The other towel I'm bringing is my pack towel. This is really light, just over ½ an ounce, and you can squeeze the water out of it and wring it out really easily. So as soon as you do that, it's almost dry again. This is what I'll use when I'm soaking wet on rainy days, just so I can get as dry as I can quickly. I'm also bringing 3 stuff sacks with me. 2 of them are waterproof. This Granite Gear one is waterproof. This is the one I'm going to be using for my clothes. I also have another one for my sleeping bag that's a little bit larger. And then I have just a standard stuff sack for my tent, which will keep it nice and compressed in the bottom of my pack. For my food bag, I'm bringing this Outdoor Research 20-liter waterproof bag. I really like that it's waterproof because it keeps my food dry, and it's really roomy, so I can keep enough food for 6 or 7 days if I really need to, though that'd be really heavy. It's probably overkill, but it's really light, so not that big of a deal. Another few miscellaneous objects. My pocket knife. This is a Gerber pocket knife that has a serrated edge. That's all that I'll need on the trail. Weighs just over an ounce, so it's really light, and I'll be using that probably every day. I also have my ultralight medical kit. It's going to get even lighter because I'm going to take some stuff out of here that I'm not really going to be using every day, some gauze, that sort of thing. But then just keeping the essentials, medicine, like ibuprofen, Benadryl, that sort of stuff. And then, of course, Dr. Bronner's, the all-purpose soap for washing my bowl, my hair, my face, whatever I need to wash. I also got these cool little bags from ZPacks. These are Cordura stuff sacks. And I'm going to use these for my toiletries and then also my electronics before I put those in a waterproof bag. And they're just really lightweight and strong. They'll probably last me the whole way to Maine without any problem. But really lightweight. I really like these a lot. For collecting water, I have just a regular Gatorade bottle. This weighs just a pinch over an ounce. And the great thing about this is if it ever gets dirty, I'm not going to feel bad if I throw it away. So unlike having a dirty Nalgene clunking around in my pack for a week sometimes, I can just get rid of this, buy a new one when I'm in town, and I'm good to go. I'm also going to be bringing my Big Zip Platypus water bag. It holds 3 liters of water, and it has this bite valve so I can keep drinking while I'm on the move. I don't plan on carrying 3 liters of water with me the whole time. That'd be really heavy. But on those sections where water is scarce, like in Pennsylvania, it'll be handy to have that so I'll have water for dinner and then still have plenty left over the next morning. Now onto my footwear. These are the Merrell Geomorph Blazes. These are an older model. I got these back in 2007, but they're still going strong. The tread's really good. They're mid-range, so they've got a good push on the sole. Just really comfy boots. I don't think I've had a comfier pair of boots than this. So I'll be doing the first part of the trail with these, and then when they eventually give out, I'll be switching to another pair. My next pair of shoes is the North Face Hedgehog 3 GTX shoes, hiking shoes. They're a little bit lighter than my boots are, so they'll be good for summer, but they're still really reinforced in the sole. They've got a really good support to them. So these will still be really good shoes for the trail, especially when you start going uphill again. Hopefully these will last me to the end of the trail. If not, I'll find another pair once I get on up the trail. My last pair of shoes are these Croc Knockoffs. They're really light, and I'm not going to cry if they get messed up, but they're surprisingly comfy. I'll just be wearing those around camp at night when I want to get out of my boots when they're really hot and sweaty. This will give me a little bit of airflow and just a nice change of pace. My main luxury item is going to be my Kindle Paperwhite. I really like this. It's just over around 8 ounces or so, but it's worth it because I'm a big reader and I plan on reading myself to sleep. And also, whenever I feel like stopping, I'll probably crack open a book and read a page or two. I really like this model because it has a side light. It's not really a backlight. It doesn't burn your retinas like you're using an iPhone in the night will, but it still gives you enough light to read, and you can adjust it to where it's just a tiny sliver of light, which I really like. And my mother handily made me a little pouch to put it in, which will keep it protected from the scratches as well. For my phone and camera, I'm going to be bringing the iPhone 4S. I actually compared this to my point and shoot. It's a Canon S10X, I believe, and the photo quality and video quality were actually better on this, so I'll just be bringing my iPhone. To conserve power, I'm going to put it in airplane mode for 95% of the time or so, and also dim the screen. Like I said, it has really good quality. I don't think I'm going to regret just taking this. If I decide that I want the point and shoot as well, I can just have someone send it to me further down the trail. To keep my iPhone and my Kindle charged, I'm going to be bringing this. It's the Anker Astro external battery. It weighs under 6 ounces. Actually, I think it's under 5 ounces. And what you do is you plug in your device right here, just using the standard charging cable, and give it a little shake, and it makes this light come on. That shows that it's charging. Right now, that just shows that it's fully charged. There we go. It's really handy. It recharges my iPhone about 3 times. My Kindle, it has a pretty small battery that it lasts a long time, but this recharges it really quickly, and it'll be really handy when I'm trying to recharge stuff down the trail. Now I'm going to go through the clothes I'm going to be wearing on my Thru-Hike. First up is my shell layer. This is the Marmot Precip. It's a hooded rain jacket. It's really light, about 14 ounces or so. And I've worn this in a downpour, and my torso didn't get wet at all, so it's really nice. It also has pit zips for ventilation, really cools you off, and the pockets are also meshed as well, so you can get a lot of ventilation out of there if you need to, though obviously that allows water to get in your pockets, so you don't want to keep anything in there. Really nice, really lightweight, and it packs down really small. It actually folds into its own zipper. For my soft shell layer, I'm bringing this. It's the Bean Ascent. It's a synthetic puffy jacket since I'm allergic to down. But it's surprisingly warm. When I first got it, I was like, oh wow, this is super thin. But I've worn this thing in close to 0 weather. It was really warm with it. It's really light, and I really like this, that it folds into its own pocket, because it also turns into my camp pillow, which means I don't have to worry about sleeping on a lumpy stuff sack or something like that, or bringing extra weight. So, smash it down, nice comfy camp pillow, versatility, I like it. My mid layer is going to be the Smartwool NTS lightweight zip up, or zip top I think. It's really light and it's merino wool, so it breathes really well, and it's also really warm. But it's Smartwool, it feels really soft, okay? It's almost like cotton. So this will be really handy to have when it's really cold or windy when I'm hiking. I probably won't wear this in camp. I'll probably just use my puffy layer, but this will be really handy to have if it's really cold. Most of the time when I'm hiking, I'll be really warm, but this might come in handy in the first couple of months on the trail. My base layer is the Smartwool Microweight Crew t-shirt. Same basic principle, it's merino wool, it's really soft and comfy, wicks away moisture. It'll keep me warm on those cold days and nights. My final base layer are the Exofficio Giving Go boxer briefs. I normally don't show my underwear on the internet, but these are really comfy. Probably the comfiest pair I've ever worn. Plus it wicks away moisture and keeps the scent down, so no smelly hiney. My hiking pants are going to be the REI Sahara convertible pants. They're convertible because I can zip off the bottom half of the leg and they become hiking shorts, which is really great on hot days or after a long day of hiking. They're really light, just a little over 8 ounces, I believe, and they dry really quickly. I had these in a downpour once, and they were dry less than an hour later after the rain had stopped. So these will be really good. They've got lots of pockets where I can store stuff, and a little bit of weather protection. That's great. I'll also be bringing this Smartwool beanie. It's called the Lid. But really comfy. It also covers my ears. I don't have to worry about earmuffs or anything like that on really cold days. And then I also have these Under Armour glove. They're technically glove liners, but I'm going to be moving enough to where my hands are probably not going to be that cold. This is mainly for wind protection. For camp, I'm going to be wearing the Smartwool long sleeve base layer. It's basically the long sleeve version of my hiking shirt, just with a little bit more warmth for the evening when I stop hiking. And then I have my Nike running pants. These are the dry fit. They offer a little bit of wind protection. They're really comfy and they hold in heat really well. But if it's still a little bit too cold, I can put my hiking pants on over that for a little extra warmth and insulation. For socks, I'm going to be wearing Merino wool socks. They're nice and comfy. They wick away moisture. They're really warm, so they'll work really well. During the summer, I have a short pair of Smartwool socks, which I'll be wearing then. And then I'll be wearing these silk sock liners. I've used these in the past. They really help your feet stay dry, and I have never really had a blister when I've used them. When I didn't use them, I had blisters, so I think these are kind of my lucky charm when it comes to keeping my feet blister-free. At least I'm going to hope it is. Last up, we have my trekking poles. These are Lucky Trail Nakaloos. They weigh about 20 ounces altogether, which is a little heavy. I know you can find lighter ones out there, but for the price, they're pretty light, and I've had these things forever. They're really comfy. We have a bond, so these will be going with me up to Maine as long as they'll last anyway. And that's about it. Altogether, my material is going to weigh 16, 17 pounds, somewhere in there. I'll have a precise measurement when I go up to Amicalola this Friday. I'm very excited. I have all my gear together, have my food together, and might have a few mail drops to send, but other than that, everything is taken care of. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, post them down below the video, and see you guys on Springer Mountain.